Kia ora, and welcome into all the ladies and gentlemen, but especially the gentlemen out there. You have tuned into the 10th, that's right, double-digit episode of Mates and Takes, a Nexus original show where three mates hang out, may or may not be wearing pants, and give their takes.
All the other 9 episodes were for ladies. This is the first one that's especially for gentlemen.
We haven't forgot about you fellas. As always, I'm Oliver, and I'm joined by Liam and Cam.
Liam and Cam. Greetings.
Hello.
I've missed you guys.
Yeah, I've missed you too. I haven't missed Steen. Not one bit. I've missed Liam quite a bit, an uncomfortable amount. I missed Oliver a normal amount, and I haven't missed Steen a super comfortable amount.
Do you know who I didn't miss at all? This guy named Cam. He just came to my door and was like, hey man, I need some supplies and recording equipment. Can you just give it to me? So I did, as kind as I could. And then he came back to me and he's like, hey man, can you edit this podcast and this recording? Oh, by the way, I got the color grading wrong, but don't worry. Have fun.
I didn't say can I just said give me it. I didn't ask once.
For his spin-off.
Spin-off.
Yeah. So first of all, for our listeners at home, that wasn't the voice of God. That was Steen, our producer. And if you're not a hardcore follower, Cam ditched us over lockdown to produce a beautiful and very funny and very wholesome episode with a 6-year-old daughter.
More like a stimulus for the people out there missing us, but
Yeah, it was a top-up.
yeah.
And she loved it so much, and she was so excited for this weekend. Cam was like, oh, sorry, the boys are back.
Yeah, your internship is terminated.
And I will not be giving you a reference.
Yeah. She had like a 10-day contract. She was like J. Cole at the Timberwolves. She hung out for the PR and that's it.
So there is a reason why I referenced to the gentleman at the start of the show. And it's because this week's episode, we will be ranking / giving our own top 3 world's most attractive males of all time.
Of all time.
In human history.
Fiction or non-fiction?
Correct. They can be real. They can be not real. They just need to be of kind of male characteristics, but they don't necessarily have to be like a human man. We kind of just wanted to get as crazy as we could with our picks.
Just as long as everyone kind of agrees that people view their character as male.
For the most part, yeah.
Because Oliver specifically wanted to put in Baymax because he's sexually attracted to the Big Hero 6 massive marshmallow Michelin Man thing. And that's why he changed all the rules just to fit that in.
So, truth be told, I did message into the group chat maybe a couple days ago. And it was actually to leave the door open for Po from Kung Fu Panda. But after some more further research, I decided I wouldn't.
You're like, he's a fat slob.
Poe of all cartoon characters would probably be the one I'd be closest or most likely to be like, yeah, I want to be friends with you. Like Shrek is a bit too grumpy. Barry B. Benson is a bit too much of a fucking bee. But Poe just seems like a pretty cool guy, I would say, out of all of them.
And that's a good point because we say the most attractive. And of course, on the one hand, being, attractive to the opposite sex, kind of in a more of a romantic sense, but also, attractiveness. Do you have a definition or anything, Cam? I've got one that I could pull
I
up.
don't actually. I've just got a scaling system. I've got no definition this time because I just felt like it was such a intangible, but I would love to hear a definition.
I'll just read it out. And it doesn't have, your guys' picks doesn't have to line up with this, but I think it's nice to know.
Same plan.
Usually I have a piece of paper, ladies and gentlemen, but these guys tried to rattle me, and I think hot-wired my printer so it wouldn't work.
Welcome to the future, man.
Attractiveness is defined as the quality of being pleasing or appealing to the senses, the possession of qualities or features that arouse interest. I found a really, really funny little metric online. I was doing like a lot of Google searching, and I was like, scale for attractiveness, or like some kind of scientific formula. And the only thing, and it's like more of a joke thing, but they took into account Helen of Troy, because there's like a line in that book, or whatever it is, and it says her face was so beautiful, it had the beauty to launch 1,000 ships. So like one Helen is the level of beauty to like launch 1,000 ships, and a Miller Helen is the beauty to launch a single ship.
Right.
So if you have the power to do that, I didn't apply this to any of my picks. I just think it's really funny.
It's like militarizing attractiveness.
Yeah.
I have 4 armies worth of beauty.
Just while I'm talking to my points, I'll just bring up, much like you, I have just a little thing that it's not the be all and end all. To be honest, most of my picks have maybe little like feats that this person was able to accomplish based on their attractiveness.
Like feet, like a foot fetish. Like you rated all of yours on feet.
Potentially. But I created this myself, and it's just a relationship checklist, and it's just 10 points. So you get a score out of 10, which I've applied, and I'll talk to that score for each of my picks. But it's facial hair, sincerity, signs of physical activity. So they don't have to be crazy buff, but they need to be active. A feminine side, sense of humor, intelligence, good smelling, work ethic, confidence, and prestige. So I just give them a little rating at the end of my TED talk on attractiveness.
You know who would do so well in all of those except the physical activity one would be Stephen Hawking. And he just goes straight to 0 because he probably smells good. He keeps his shit tight and
You
clean.
think he smells good, bro?
I reckon he's
Spending all his time in the chair.
He's thinking about space a lot, Like, surely you're like, okay, there's bigger things to worry about. Actually, yeah, no, he's not going to smell good.
Yeah.
Did you know he cheated on his wife?
Yeah, I seen
He
the
like
movie.
left his wife.
Did he?
Thought he could get better.
I've never seen the movie.
Actually,
Look Who's Hawking.
if we're talking like pure feats to show just like what kind of stature you have with the opposite sex, being like a full paraplegic and still cheating on your missus is like a pretty huge.
How did he do
accomplishment.
it? Did he like call in a phone sex hotline or something? Like, how did he do it?
Was it his nurse or something?
No idea. Didn't watch the movie. I thought I know what happens in that movie.
He
And I
cheats
didn't
on
watch
it.
it.
Did you just go? I think it's gonna be pretty sad.
I think it's gonna be him doing a lot of talking.
Yeah.
Not much is gonna happen.
it was back when he had his voice.
Eddie Redmayne, the actor. He's now lost it. I was like, surely this is just going to be him deteriorating slowly. And that's it.
And it is, yeah, it's true
Wow.
to form.
Yeah.
Sad.
Oh, well. Shape of Water. Check it out, guys.
Talk to us about the scaling system you have.
Okay, so last time I've had a scaling system was food, which was the Camos and Trifecta Triple Deluxe system or some shit like that. I can't remember. This time, and we might remember there was a plot twist that actually everything was rated out like 15 or some contrived bullshit that made everything
It was
worthless.
also just fully broken. It was broken.
So this one, I think, is going to get like, I want you to pay attention because lethality slipped under the radar last time. There's no like capacity to murder in this one. But my ratings is out of 10. It is rated on symmetry, charisma, longevity of the sort of, what would you call it, like the legacy of the person, I guess, controversy around the person. And the way that I decided that was I just searched their name, and if like and the word controversy, and if something came up straight away, I was like, that's not good. So like Johnny Depp, for example. You search Johnny Depp controversy, you're going to see something bad straight away. But if you search someone else's name and controversy, they might be like a victim of it or something like that.
Will you, so by that metric, will you give controversy a high score or a low score?
So if they have 0 controversy, that equals 10. So it's like inverse of it. Then articles using pseudoscience to objectify this person, like by justifying it. So what articles are going to use scientific terms to be like, this is why this person is the most attractive. That'll come into play later. You'll get it. Style, how good are they at what they did, and swing factor. So how likely am I to swing the other way and maybe just test the waters with this person? Have a picnic with them or a zorb.
Fair enough. Liam Dunn, have you kind of blueprinted much in the way of how you're making your picks?
Once again, no. You guys go way too hard.
Okay, yeah, we go hard, but it's kind of the whole show to go hard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to go hard because you guys are just gonna.
I believe like
if I can find some dirt under their fingernails, that's a knock on.
Yeah, we'll just be like Batman, and we'll pull up some like files.
I believe like Watch the Throne. They're like ball so hard, motherfuckers want to fight me. The other guy's not like, and I just chill and do like just kind of wing it. I don't think that's the next lyric.
Who wants to start? If we're gonna,
I don't know who started last time.
well, let me start with my janky little face.
Face here criteria.
All right, in at number 3, I have James Bond 007.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Okay.
So, I really like him for his appeal to both genders. I think this is probably what made him like a strong contender when I first glanced. When I looked at his CV on my desk and I was like, you know, taking interviews for the most attractive men out there, I went, oh yeah, okay, let me have a flip through. So I'd say guys are quite attracted to the skills that he has, his like stature, and certainly his occupation. Like I don't think we really want to put ourselves in harm's way, but it's kind of cool to think of yourself as a spy or secret agent. And then I think women are likely to be attracted to his physique, the mystery kind of around him.
Depends who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Talking about Daniel Craig, you're talking about Sean Connery.
I'm talking about the character James Bond.
So the concept of James Bond,
Yeah.
just across the board. Okay. Yep.
And his intelligence. So I'm glad you brought that up because James Bond transcends physical appearance. Because despite him changing actors who play him, he still like achieves all the same kind of tasks when it comes to boasting attractiveness to like the opposite sex. And I think a lot of his, certainly in the Daniel Craig movies, you know, kind of a lot of the agents around him are either envious or they kind of look up to him and things like that. So he's got like you know, he's got a cool factor about him. It's James Bond. And what I really, really like is through the movies, he attracts not only like the most beautiful woman, but also very powerful, independent, dangerous women in all these situations. And they quite often risk like a lot to kind of get involved with him. You know, like some of these women will be like married to like these huge villains that just kill people for nothing, and they'll decide to sleep with James Bond. It's like, bro, like your husband will behead you. Like he's not mucking around. He'll feed you to sharks. Like what are you doing? But James Bond, like they basically risk death to sleep with James.
Most of the time they get rewarded with death as well. Like how many James Bond movies does he walk in and she's dead and he's like, I never could have seen this coming for the 28th time.
Yeah, and listen, relationship score 5 out of 10. It's not very strong, which is 5. Yeah, it's a 5 out of 10. That's the relationship score.
Hang on, sorry.
I was just thinking lower than that.
Yeah,
Like
how do you
gaps
give
and
him
gaps
yeah.
constantly?
What did you say before we started? Pump and dump? I think that's what he does.
That wasn't on air.
That's what he says all the time.
So facial hair, no. Sincerity, no. Signs of physical activity, yes. Feminine side, no. Sense of humor, no. Intelligence, yes. Smell good, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Work ethic, yes. Confidence, yes. Oh, actually, prestige, yes. I didn't give him a smell good because he's always running somewhere in front of someone. So despite wearing all his cologne, he would still have like this waft of BO behind him.
And probably like, what's it called? Stale alcoholism. Because he is so obviously an alcoholic.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe I didn't outline that, but earlier, my scale system is a relationship score scale. So, like, the likelihood someone would want a relationship with them.
Oh,
I think I just completely forgot to say that.
That's okay.
So, I give them a score, but it's not like the be-all or end-all.
So, it's not their history, it's their potential. Right, I get you. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
I have so many questions. Which is your favorite James Bond, straight off the rip?
Me?
Yeah, this is now the actors.
I like the Pierce Brosnan one because
Same.
he gets with Halle Berry.
He's fucking funny, eh? Like, I would say Roger Moore because he dresses up as a clown and he's real sad in it. And if you haven't seen it, it's so fucking good. And he's also in the one called Octopussy, which is probably the most ridiculous name for a movie ever.
That they slipped that in there.
She
That's like
had-
legendary.
She had 8. What?
Yeah, I like Pierce Brosnan because like I think those movies are just trash,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh,
he's
yeah.
he's not physically imposing at all. Although I think if you go before Daniel Craig, none of them really are.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a good point.
His like move is like, I got a little gun.
I don't know if this is a false memory, but is Die Another Day Pierce Brosnan?
Yeah,
Is that the one with Halle Berry?
Yeah.
Whichever one's with Halle Berry. Does Halle Berry have a fake eye in that? Is that a thing? Or am I just like, have I made that up? I feel like she has a glass eye or some shit, but they don't do anything. She's still like Halle Berry. She's still just like 1990s beautiful Halle Berry or early 2000s beautiful Halle Berry.
does she potentially get injured and then she wears an eye patch later?
No eye patch.
I don't think
I
so,
just
bro. I think
feel
you're
like
misremembering.
I feel like I saw this movie in the theaters and they were like, da 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 da. Yes, James, I have a glass eye. Anyway, let's have very risky sex. And then like nothing is commented on. Like it's just this extraneous point that has nothing. I might have just made all of that up, but I really feel like that's a thing.
Wasn't he in Goldfinger as well?
Maybe? No, I don't think so. I think Goldfinger's
idea.
quite a bit older.
Okay, because there's that like James Bond like Goldfinger Nintendo 64 game, which is like beloved and
Golden
like,
Eye.
Oh, GoldenEye. So
GoldenEye,
yeah, I
Golden
think
Finger
he's-
is like the.
yeah.
That's the
That's
one.
like a parody of.
Nah, Goldfinger's way back. That's
Yeah, I think it's an older one.
Gold Member is the Austin Powers.
You're thinking of a
parody.
brown finger, which is like not a James Bond
I'm
thing.
not thinking of anything like that.
I rewatched Doctor No recently, and like during lockdown.
Do you
and
mean
it was
Doctor Who?
Doctor No? And bro, I love watching Doctor Who. If anyone's with me and they're not watching, I have to go to my room and just like have a moment. No, I rewatched Doctor No during lockdown, and fuck, it is so trash. Like those movies are horrible movies, especially the first whatever. The Daniel Craig ones are better, but
Ooh,
they're bad.
you're the one person I know that is completely unforgiving to like movies aging. You know, you're like Star Wars is trash.
It
Have
is
you
trash.
tried to watch it? Like, it's the special effects are so bad. I'm like, yeah, compared to Ready Player One, it's pretty bad.
Have you seen the theory that James Bond is like a code name? It's not a real name. It's not a real person, and that's why there's all these different actors. And it actually like that's why it doesn't age. It's so Sean Connery is a spy, and then he adopts the James Bond 007 moniker, and then he dies, and then because I think Timothy Dalton like dies, like straight up fucking dies, and he was James Bond with the bad guy being Christopher Walken, and then he just like fucking dies, and then 3 years later there's another James Bond, which I think was Pierce Brosnan.
Well, isn't 007 the code they give if you've killed someone?
License to Kill.
Right. So there's a few 007 agents?
I think so, because the American guy, I think. 'Cause, to be clear, I'm not like a closeted James Bond massive fan. I just
Dude, it's okay if you
It's-
are. Doesn't
no,
bother
it's
me.
not. It's helping your case. I'm not admitting shit about closeted James Bond fans right now.
There you go. There you have it. James Bond 007 Brown Finger heading over to another.
So I got probably a pretty good future pick for James Bond after Daniel Craig. I've got Robert Pattinson, Bobby P. Bobby P is a British actor known for Cedric Diggory and Harry Potter, Connie in Good Time, and Thomas Howard in The Lighthouse. 2 out of 3 very amazing movies. And
Whoa, hang on. Yeah, no, sorry. I thought you were just going to end there with his movies.
And of course, the dumpster fire, Twilight.
Thank God.
He's 185, 1.85 meters, and he's approximately 75 kegs. Recently, RPAT, like this year, was rated the world's most handsome man by Science. Some piece of shit, let's be clear, anyone who professionally propagates an antiquated system which reduces people to their physical appearance is a piece of shit. Scientifically applied the golden ratio to current celebrities. So if you're not familiar with the golden ratio, it's in, I believe, like Renaissance art, and it is like you look at an image and then you sort of superimpose it with this golden circle, and all of the sort of aspects of the image line up in this perfect symmetry.
That's really interesting because I think Robert Pattinson is drop dead gorgeous, very handsome man. But in terms of like a perfect symmetrical face, his is almost quite long, and like
Yeah.
his cheeks are quite big. Like he's not who I would have, like Brad Pitt, for example. Maybe I would.
Brad Pitt did not. He actually was down at 5th and is aging really well. This is like a direct quote.
What do you guys think about his long hair, though?
Yeah, he looks a bit like Mufasa.
Is this Brad? Has he brought it back?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people like. Apparently, Aaron Rodgers has like a man bun at the
Yeah,
moment.
he does. He was on. Yeah, I
Packers
saw
QB.
that.
Damn, maybe it's because like they're scared if they cut it off, they won't be able to grow it again.
I
Yeah,
think
like, just keeping
sometimes
it
that's
long.
like a
That's
40s, 50s.
Yeah, that was my go. Yeah, so no, Bradley Pitt actually dropped down quite a bit. But Arpad actually came out with a 92.15% score, which beat Henry Cavill, another traditionally very attractive man at the current zeitgeist. The language used for the scoring was 92.15% of perfect, which I thought was ridiculous. But he's 7.85% off, which is not bad. That's like an A+ scoring in University of Waikato. Also, in all interviews, he comes off as very charming and likably self-effacing. There's a story that he was in his apartment and this woman stalked him for like weeks on end. And so eventually he took her out for dinner and then he just complained about how boring his life is and she never stalked him again.
Is that a true story?
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
He like just took her out for dinner and just complained the entire time to her about all his problems, and she was just like, "Fuck this guy."
Amazing, bro. He is so funny. He frequently like shits on how bad Twilight was. Like he's always just like, I hated those movies so much. They're so shit. He also, when I searched up his name and controversy, the only controversy that came up is that Kristen Stewart cheated on him, and apparently he was really mature about it, according to the Times and some other bullshit gazette and some other weekly bullshit. Style, he doesn't score massively in, just in terms of ambition or like hype beast ability, but he's 35, so he can dress himself, and it's all good that he opts for like a bomber jacket and doesn't wear some, labels.
35, wow.
So his total score, symmetry, 9.92 out of 10, of course. Charisma, 8.35. Longevity, 6.51. We can't really rate, he's still quite young. Controversy, 10. Articles using pseudoscience, 10. Style, 7.53. Proficiency in craft, 8.47. Swing factor, 7.56.
Oh, good for you, man.
Yeah. These are the 3 most attractive men in history. I got to think about it,
Have you checked to see like his most like notable girlfriends or anything like that?
So he's dated FKA Twigs. He's dated Kristen Stewart, and then he's married to what's her name? They've been married for a while.
From Finding Nemo.
Yeah. Oh, what is her name? Fuck, this is gonna annoy me. It's like a four-letter first name.
I'm sure Steen.
Sarah, Lisa, Kate, some shit like that.
If it isn't, there's some furious typing. We'll get back to that shortly, I'm sure.
They are married, no kids.
No, that's cool, man.
He's a Taurus as well. For whatever that means.
He's a really, really good pick. And I think, so he's about to be in like the revamp of Batman, like the 17th revamp in 3 years. But previous to that, he hasn't like been put into like the hemisphere that like Chris Hemsworth and people occupy because of their like physical gifts. And he's also like still in his prime. And he's in like really, really decent movies now. So
I guess with Twilight, right, you had like the teenager sort of uprising of him where it was like that height of Justin Bieber, where it was this Justin Timberlake, and it wasn't really being ripped. It wasn't this Marvel era of superheroes being the thing that is considered attractive. And so he wasn't like ginormous or anything like that. But yeah, it would be really interesting to see if I would not be surprised if when he like in 60 years from now, we consider that guy, this might be a hot take, as like one of the greatest actors of all time. He is fucking incredible.
Yeah, I mean, like Nicolas Cage was an action star, and he's just
Yeah.
regular as fuck.
He is like, if a meat pie was a human, it's Nicolas Cage.
yeah, if you dropped a meat pie on the floor.
If you dropped a meat pie on John Travolta's face, you literally have a blockbuster movie.
Liam, does like Robert Pattinson make you slightly horny?
No, but I'm not gay. But I would want to be friends with him for sure. Like if he was like, bro, come hang out, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. I'll drop what I'm doing.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with being gay.
I didn't say there was.
Yeah, but the person that says they're definitely not gay, I think you might be gay, Liam.
Okay, I'll go home and check my settings.
No, fantastic. I've got more I want to say, but
He's thrown up by how turned on he is just by the idea of Robert Pattinson.
He is such a charming guy. So
He really
like, he
is.
scores really highly in that, and like
I really liked him in Tenet. He was like a charming, kind of like cool as fuck guy in Tenet.
So I will go out on a limb and say that Tenet is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, and he was the only component of that I really enjoyed.
yeah, his character like from front to back or back to front, depending on what side of the coin you're on, was just it was fantastic, and like his whole, even the ending there or the beginning, was really good.
When I saw that, I was like, he'd make a good James Bond.
Yeah, hell yeah,
He's that character in that pretty much.
true.
If you haven't seen Good Time, do yourself a favor and check it out. It's phenomenal. It's such a good movie with him. He's amazing. Anyway.
Fantastic. Liam Dunn, set the jacuzzi settings to
Rinse.
bubbles and invite in the number 3 pick.
So my number 3 is Danny Phantom, aka Danny Phantom.
Uh-oh, we got a big response in the corner. I wonder if there's some overlap. Oh, okay, no, good. I'll be honest, he popped up on a lot of my research lists.
Okay, yeah, go Liam.
I mean, the guy's like a wraith, you know, a phantom, a spirit. He's a ghost.
And that's attractive to you?
That's not attractive to me. That's cool as fuck.
So it is attractive
That's like one of the most interesting things you could tell someone. If you're like, I can turn into a ghost. They're
Right.
like, okay,
Is he public
I can
about
move
it?
some shit around for you.
Is it secret or is he public
It's
about
secret, but you know, if you're
Yeah,
his
yeah, I still get
significant
you.
other,
Yeah,
obviously,
Or if you saw, Can humans see him?
not when he turns invisible.
Okay, good.
So
to
he
know.
can like turn into a ghost, and then he has chooses to be visible or invisible, and also when he's invisible, he's like intangible, so he can travel through, you know, solid objects. Both of his parents are like very smart scientists, so I guess he has a potential to be like a genius. He's like still in high school, so I mean, you can't really tell from the show what's happening with him.
Yeah.
The man has hoes, you know what I mean? He's got game. In the show, he's got like, he hangs out with like a thick goth and like a Latina chick. So he's like, he's obviously got some charisma. You know, dreamy blue eyes, a good looking kid.
Yeah.
What else is there to say?
Yeah, he would definitely be in your dreams, probably your nightmares. He's certainly, I think, weirdly, like Cam mentioned it, but like the fox from like Robin Hood
Yeah.
is like at the top of a lot of lists, and I'm like, who are these like horny ass women?
Yeah,
like,
that's some like weird furry shit.
yeah, it could be.
So,
But
so
yours is some weird Nickelodeon shit.
so the
What
reason
are you
I
talking about? It's just like just as an idea. It's just like James Bond. James Bond could be a cartoon, but it could also be a real person.
Yeah, no, I'm not like shitting on it.
You are shitting on. You just shat on it. Fuck you.
so
Your next, bro, instead of me being like, oh, that's a good pick for your next pick, shitting on it. Doesn't matter if it's good or not.
Okay, Liam, you were like, he's a ghost, and that's really cool. And like,
What else did I say?
okay, so
You could potentially have a genius level intellect.
yeah,
He's a good looking guy.
I got a question about the genius level one. Is he that smart if his parents are super intelligent? Because he falls into a thing, right? He falls into like a chamber or some shit and turns
His
into
parents
a
are
phantom,
so
right?
smart that they figure out a way to enter the dimension of the ghost. So yeah, they are actually smart.
They are, yeah, they definitely are. They
Obviously-
also put a sign on it that said "keep out."
It's plot armor that
He
his
can't be
parents
that
don't-
smart.
It's plot armor that his parents don't figure him out.
No, not that. He's not that smart because it says "keep out" and he knows the risks involved because his
Freak
parents
accident.
are super smart.
I mean, like the Hulk. You know, that dude was like a super genius, and he just
Barry Allen, the
he just
Flash.
popped into the like little chamber where you
Yeah.
just shouldn't be ever.
The Hulk, the Flash are both scientists genius that they're experiments fuck him up.
Ozymandias as well.
Yeah.
So it's
there's
like
actually
you
a lot of
can-
super geniuses who fuck around with like
Yeah.
health and safety
Yeah, it's
practices
just-
pretty
maybe-
regularly.
maybe
It's just like
like-
recklessness, not really
Recklessness,
stupidity.
Or
Yeah.
like clumsiness. Like you just have to
Clumsy,
be
yeah.
a klutz.
Yeah. So the reason I love this
But
pick
Danny
so much,
Phantom's cold as hell. Fuck you guys.
he
I hate
really
you.
is.
No,
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 here's
no,
my
that's
pick.
cool, that's
Here's why I laugh so hard. So I fucking research, bro. And on Reddit, there's a thing called Ask Gay Bros, and I searched who is the most attractive cartoon male character of all time, and Ask Gay Bros top pick Danny Phantom, 35 upvotes, and so many of them are like, this man made me gay.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so he's got the
Yeah, maybe I
capacity
should
to like.
reserve the vote for number
Yeah,
one.
he was
Yeah,
up, bro.
okay.
It was him, and then it was the fox from Robin Hood. They were like,
That's so weird.
and there was so many of them, and it was funny because it was really obviously a really welcoming community and shit, and it was like a pretty interesting sort of like side area of Reddit that I don't peruse very often, to be clear. And they were like, Robin Hood, the fox from Robin Hood, he made me a furry. And then someone commented straight out, obviously all of us were like, what the fuck, watch My Little Pony. But right under, someone else commented and they were like, me too, same here, you sound awesome, and start like having this back and forth. I was like, what the fuck, this is
Hell
very
yeah, brother.
embracing. Yeah, love wins, bro. It was awesome.
Hell yeah, brother, hit my line.
It's really funny because like if they said Danny Phantom turned them gay, like I guess maybe a Nickelodeon show like Danny Phantom you're watching when you're like 12 to 14, maybe I watched Danny Phantom a little too.
No,
for
that's
too
not
long.
me. I
Okay.
love that show, man. That was
And I
great.
suppose you're coming into your own a little bit, especially with sexuality
It's
and things like that.
him or Kim Possible. You got like the 4 to 5
She
slot.
go, bro.
She
She
go,
go.
yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about female cartoon characters,
No,
I can list a
Hometown
few.
hero, she go.
yeah, as we're talking about like attractive male characters, I just realized like I just missed out Mufasa. I didn't even think about Mufasa. Oh
Yeah.
well, or Simba. Damn.
You're not.
They made that Lion King pretty freaky, eh? Like in that part with him and Nala, just out of nowhere. It's kind of like, can you feel? And there's like, like fucking R&B vibes hard, where he's just grinding on her and shit. You're
Oh,
like,
is that
what
the one where it's
fuck?
like
It's the G
Hakuna
movie.
Matata
Yeah.
with Pumbaa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing. What's the matter with you?
No. Sorry guys, I'm not good with phones. That's why I print out. I've got a number 2, and before I jump in, I want to ask Cam a question. Why did you consider Robert Pattinson the guy when you could have stat padded him with a character that he plays? Because you could like find a more perfect supernatural version of him.
Right.
Oh, no.
My number 2 is Edward Cullen from the Twilight series.
Oh my god.
Think about what traits really attract women, like just complete buy-in from them, right?
Glitter skin.
Protective,
Vacant stares.
kind, mysterious, dangerous. Much like Liam talked to, like the fact that Danny Phantom can turn into a ghost. You have to imagine like if he went on a couple of dates and he started dating someone 6 months down the line, he tells her, right? Like, hey, I'm like a phantom. And she's like, oh my God. Is she really ever going to consider dating anyone else for the rest of her life?
Yeah,
because
so interesting. You'd be like, what?
yeah, no, like I need to stay tethered to this person who is literally like breaking the physical like laws of nature because this is so interesting.
Or a werewolf.
Yeah.
So, you know,
vampire.
not really.
So, supernatural side of things, he's a vampire and shiny. Thanks for that. He is so desirable that his love interest Bella was like, yeah, I'll become a vampire. It was just like straight away. Granted, she was like young. I don't know how old she is in the books, maybe 16, 17. But she's just like, I'll give up my normal life. And he's just like, it's kind of shit being a vampire. She's like, I don't care. Like, I'll throw that away. She's essentially throwing her life away as she knows it.
It's like when you start dating a vegan, just straight away, like, I'll give up meat. They're like, it's pretty shit, to be honest. It's pretty bland. It's pretty boring. Yes, my skin's good, but everything else sucks. It's like, I'll do it.
I had a really good friend of mine.
You look gaunt and pale.
Yeah, you have a protein deficiency.
There's a lot of overlap here.
Yeah.
I had a mate of mine. He started dating a girl that was vegan, and he decided to become vegan. I'm sure like it was his own thing as well. I was like, wow, that's so great. And then I'd go over to his house. He'd be like eating potato chips and like Pepsi Max, and he'd be like, it's all vegan. It's all vegan. I was like, this seems not quite right. His relationship score is an 8 out of 10. You just said he was like ranked. I'm taking like the movie version of Edward Cullen. So like I've got Robert Pattinson as the physical representation. So gorgeous guy.
Never ages.
Yeah. And
keep that in mind.
oh, is that where you're gonna would that deter you? Because
You keep going. You keep going.
so and here's like the cherry on top for me. He's only ever been interested in one girl. And so he oozes this perpetual aura of disinterest.
Desperation. Yeah.
So he's not interested in anyone else. So every, like, maybe you guys will disagree with this, but it's not always the case. But it's just a feeling. Once you are in a relationship, sometimes you can feel that, like, you become a little bit more desirable to the opposite sex if you're like in a stable, healthy relationship and people from the outside looking in, I think. And he's got that forever. He's just not interested in anyone else. Everyone's like, oh my God.
One of the things about that, which might strengthen Liam's point, is typically it's called ghosting. So
I've got Edward Cullen at number 2, most handsome male. Attractive. I don't even think he's handsome.
This is my very small, I think it's a good pick, obviously, but this is my very small pushback is that those movies came out around about like 13 years ago, roughly 10 to 13 years ago.
I'm going to say it was 13.
So he doesn't
13 to 14.
So he doesn't age. So he was 22. So the little golden ratio that I got can't be applied to yours because he's 35 in my one. But your guy never ages, so he's always 22. And you don't look the same as you do when you were 22. Because I was looking at your pictures last night, I couldn't sleep. And you don't look like that right now. You got like a stronger jawline now. Your nose is more or less the same, but like you've got better features.
You're describing
you're
me.
like a bit more withered in like a good way, like a charming.
Good.
Sort of, you do look good, yeah. Like moisturized, but not like you're trying.
You're describing the fact that I've lost weight since I was 22, but undoubtedly my skin has gotten worse. Like I've aged.
Yeah, but like in a you've seen the sun, it's kissed you. You know, you've seen some things.
Okay, I'll accept the criticism for the compliment in exchange for the compliment.
Okay, my thing is, this guy might eat you.
Dangerous.
Danny Phantom doesn't want to eat you or drink your blood. He's just like, oh, look at this, cool.
To be fair, he never ate Bella. Okay, so like if you're in a relationship with him, he'll be like,
I believe in the book it's described as a heroin addict trying to not do heroin.
well, then put down a strong will next to those stats.
I haven't seen any of Twilight, so I can't comment on this, unfortunately.
You didn't even see the first one when it came out?
I think I might have seen half of the last one. Maybe.
Weird.
like it was just on, and it was either that or like, I don't know, U2 or some shit on like Live Aid, and I was like, well, I guess I'm watching that.
I watched the last one like 3 times because me and Oliver used to work at the movies.
Oh.
No, I was like, that was my go-to date. I was like, hey, babe, let's go watch Twilight.
You're like keeping that movie in theaters. They're like, we're gonna wrap it up. You're like, no, give it a few more weeks. I think there's a second wave coming. Like, there's a lot.
Apparently, there's deleted scenes like at every third showing.
It's been doing really well in the international circuit. It's coming back. Trust me. It's still going with Parasites going on. Yeah, good pick. Good pick. Yeah, Edward
like
Snowden. Good pick.
Thanks.
Yeah, Edward Norton from American History.
From Fight Club.
You get a twofer if you wanted to pick the narrator from Fight Club, because when I was doing my research, you get a little 2 for 1.
Edward Norton is like a sickly, like Dickensian Oliver Twist baby, fully grown.
You're just hedging your bet that there's a few that don't like Brad Pitt, and they probably are into that look if they're not into Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers, sorry.
Either I like the leukemia boy or I like Brad Pitt. Okay. My number 2 is the Vitruvian Man. You're aware of what the Vitruvian Man is?
I'm not.
Okay, so okay, I'll start with a little preamble. What is the most famous painting of all time that you would say? Like first painting that comes to
Mona
you.
Lisa.
Mona
Yes,
Lisa?
same answer.
Yeah. So the Vitruvian Man, the artist of that was Leonardo da Vinci, and he also drew the Vitruvian Man.
Oh, is that the guy
Yeah,
with
yeah. It's the guy who's like, it's a naked man standing inside a circle. He's got his arms and legs outstretched, and then superimposed are legs that are in a neutral position, which are kind of in like a weird position when you look at it. Like he's like never let him know which way you're going. But anyway, the Vitruvian Man depicts the apex of male perfection. Now, for example, there's like script underneath it. Fuck. First of all, Leonardo da Vinci was like the most pretentious motherfucker in the world. He wrote in mirror, like Italian, but in mirror. So like he didn't write just forwards. He wrote fucking backwards for no reason. Like it's not that hard. Hold it up to a mirror. Like you'd look at it like that's a backwards E. I guess this guy writes backwards. It's not that much of a fucking code. Da Vinci Code went shit. Anyway, so 4 fingers equal 1 palm. So if you've got like, if you put your 4 fingers and you put them against your palm, if those fit perfectly, then you've got a perfect palm.
Shit. Oh, like that.
The wingspan is the same as your height. So he was the guy who figured that out, that your wingspan is the same as your height, generally speaking. I know there's exceptions to the rule.
If you're trying to make the league, you don't want those stats.
Yeah. From the elbow to the armpit is 1/8 the height of the perfect man. Like that's the depth that he went to from this. He had from the base of your hairline to the base of your chin had to equate to like 1/6 of your height or something like that. He had everything. He has gone in like intense detail. Yeah, you've got like this cross section on the nose. You got, I believe like the base of the male genitals has to be like the middle point of you. And so like for you, I know it'll be in the middle, like top to down, but I know you skew hard left, so like it'll be a bit off, like left to right. But top down, you'd be
Have
fine.
I ever told you that? How would you know that?
Your third one, you talk. Nah,
Leave a key under the map, bro.
if I don't see you through the week, I see you through the window. You know what I mean?
Can I quickly ask? These are obviously all dimensions that relate to each other, but is there like a measurement for his height on the painting?
They said that it will like adjust through time, but I think there was one there. But unfortunately, I'm shit at my job and I didn't look it up.
No, that's cool. I was just curious.
But I know that like up until I think like the 1900s, the average height of a man was 5'10", and it's gone up since then. Or it was like 5'8", and it's gone up since then.
Why don't we just give him the average height right now? You know,
What's that?
I don't know, whatever it is.
Probably like 5'11", 1 inch below me.
I mean, with worldwide, it would be a lot shorter. But
Yeah. I also quite liked this line, which is in it. Again, very pretentious, but like the drawing is the microcosm of perfection and the macrocosm of the universe, which is just a nice little sentiment about how vain you can be when the world means fucking nothing.
yeah, get that tattooed on your bicep,
Yeah, I'll get it
and it's
backwards
just
though, so no one will figure it out.
protruding out of your gym shark.
Oh,
Shit.
with like Vini Vidi Vici or some shit next to it, you know, and just like doing all those Ziz poses.
Hard.
If you look closely at the Vitruvian Man's stomach, it looks like Winnie the Pooh. Like just if you look closely, next time you look at it, I urge you to look closely. It
When I
looks
do
like
my
Winnie
like
the Pooh.
weekly look at the Vitruvian Man.
Yeah, and that's amazing for me because I also have like Winnie the Pooh on my stomach, so that just works in my favor, which I think helps.
Don't
And
you
there-
have a Winnie the Pooh-esque stomach rather than a Winnie the Pooh on your stomach?
Yeah, it looks like Winnie
Oh,
the Pooh.
right,
Did you
right.
know Xi Jinping, who's the emperor of China, he has banned any depictions of Winnie the Pooh in China because people have said that he looks like him so much? It's not a joke. Like Xi Jinping has banned Winnie the Pooh in China.
Wow.
Yeah,
I thought China didn't have emperors anymore.
what's their leader called? The chancellor or
Oh,
Like
president?
the leader of the Chinese Communist Party.
Oh.
the communist, bro.
Guys, change it back to emperor. It reads a lot.
We're
better.
going to get banned in China if we keep going this rate.
So the final point that I have is there is a very famous saying which regards someone as unattractive, and that's he's no oil painting. This is literally an oil painting.
yeah,
So
true.
that helps. Symmetry 10, charisma 0, longevity 10, controversy 10, articles using pseudoscience 10, style 0, proficiency in craft 10, swing factor 0. So it's pretty polarizing. The Vitruvian Man. He is perfect, but I mean, he's got no clothes on. You can't give him style. He's got no clothes on. He's not even got a necklace or anything.
Yeah, it's tricky because he's like the perfect physical specimen. Like it's unquestionable, but like attractiveness overall, it's like it's hard because then we don't know like what's he going to be like on a first date. We have no reference point. Like is
Terrible. He writes backwards in Italian. You know, like it's what his dad taught him. It's terrible.
Like we have no semblance of like what his personality would be, like what his interests are.
Yeah.
But
he's perfect.
if he's perfect, he should be on the list. You know, it makes sense to me.
It's I don't know, man. It's tricky, but I just thought that I deserved to give him a shout out. He's been around for fucking ages as well.
Yeah, I feel like you guys are going to have some potentially major problems with my number one, so I'm just going to not rock the boat too much, and I think it's cool.
As long as yours isn't like Allah, where you're not allowed a picture of him like ever, I'll be okay.
It's like John Cena. Okay, I'm just going to... Okay, it is, yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Liam Dunn.
Okay.
Talk to us nice.
My number 2, Bruce Wayne.
Oh, yeah. Can we call him Batman?
The man is Batman.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Pause. Rewind. Batman. The Dark Knight, boys. Master of every fighting style known to man.
Yeah.
Genius level intellect, like including all things. You know what I mean? Like anything you can think of. Can pilot any vehicle, pick any lock, solve any mathematical equation, peak physical human condition. He's also a billionaire, a superhero. Like, there's literally nothing this man can't do. Like, you could be like, have an army guarding you, protected in like a fortress, and he'll come save you in an instant. Like,
Yeah,
he's got you so protected, like in every kind of way, like financially, physically, mentally. Like if you had some kind of problem, he'd definitely figure some way to like help you out of it. The only reason why he's not my number one is he's pretty cold. He's like pretty calculated. Like he can pretend to be a nice person, but like people always say when they're talking about Bruce Wayne is that Bruce Wayne is his alter ego and Batman is his actual personality. But I mean, yeah.
Can I just say that
he's a handsome guy?
Liam's opening 2 points for the most attractive man of all time is that one's a ghost and one has mastered every fighting style known to man. Like a woman is going on a date and she's like, look, I would love to walk your friend's dog. Do you know jujitsu, Wing Chun, karate, kung fu,
Hey,
Krav Maga?
maybe Rose Namajunas is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
she's like, oh, I want that shit.
To be fair, he's selling it to us first, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's just what occurred to me. Like, Bruce Wayne in particular is going to be like ultra attractive to both genders, and like not necessarily in a sexual way for men, but you're going to be like, yeah, shit. I wish you would even wish for like 10% of some of his accolades and skills and things like that.
He's got that, like what Oliver mentioned about James Bond, where like Catwoman's like, oh, I gotta fuck this guy.
Also played by Halle Berry. So maybe Halle Berry just likes having sex with very risky people.
In her own movie, she plays
Yeah.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
But in the Batman movies, it's
Anne
played by
Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
So in The Dark Knight Rises, he fights in broad daylight, right?
Yeah.
So we agree that Batman goes out in broad daylight, correct? Because of that,
Yeah,
there's
obviously,
precedent.
Yeah.
He'd have a pretty fucking weird tan, like just hair, that wouldn't be hugely attractive with his cowl and his mask.
He goes on daytime when he has to, but he prefers to work at night. So if there's not someone like holding up an armed building, he's like not gonna.
I'm just thinking he's like applying a lot of SPF.
Yeah, well,
Like right.
if you've seen American Psycho, which is a prequel to the Dark Knight trilogy, he's very good with exfoliating his skin.
That would be amazing if it was.
I think you've mapped it out pretty good, and he is a sensational pick. You kind of just skipped over the point that like if he's such like a perfect mate for like the female, like is she not concerned that villains will be trying to kill her all the time? Is she not concerned that he's gonna miss like dinner almost every night because he's gonna be out fighting crime? Like he's not gonna be there to raise the kids. Damian Wayne is a fucking train wreck.
Yeah, but he's just so cold. You know what I mean?
He's so aloof that they're just like, yeah.
He's so ill, bro. Pulling up in that Lambo.
Yeah, they're spending a lot of time with Alfred. Like a lot. Them and Alfred. Whoever his partner is, they hang out with Alfred a lot.
Yeah, more than with Bruce.
Definitely.
Solid.
Brucey Bruce.
It's really funny. Batman.
And like you can have George Clooney with the nipples, like Batman. You know, he's
Or
got a
you
lot
can
of
have-
different suits.
You can have Val Kilmer. You can have whoever you want.
Can you have that real campy Batman from like the
Adam
West.
West. Oh, bro, arguably the best. Adam West. Yeah, who's your favorite Batman?
Oh, Christian Bale for sure.
Okay.
But we haven't seen Robert Pattinson, and he
Yeah.
could be the best one, bro.
Yeah. I honestly
I feel
think
like he's
the-
gonna
the-
do a good job.
So do I.
the trailer, like if you're just going off the trailer, it looks really, really good.
Worst Batman, Ben Affleck.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Can we allow like the cartoon Batman? Because he's gangster.
Whoever you want, brother.
Like is the best one. I think he's gangster.
Oh
His
yeah,
name
I
is-
mean, like
Oh, comic book Batman is the best Batman if you're talking about like.
or Michael
coolest feats,
Keaton.
but I
mean,
I
they're
reckon
all-
Michael Keaton is gangster.
Oh yeah, and the Tim Burton Batman, that's pretty cool.
So ridiculous.
on that note, do you guys like? I guess because we're on a podcast, do you sometimes struggle with small talk?
Don't interrupt.
Shut the
to me.
damn it.
Excuse me, sir. I'm talking.
Okay.
No, you go. You go. It's fine.
Okay,
My
don't
thing's not that
interrupt because I'm
important.
doing an ad. You may notice my little hat here. Well, never again struggle with Small Talk with Small Talk, a Hamilton-owned and operated fashion label, curating crazy dope hoodies and one-of-one pieces like this trucker. There's only one of these hats in existence. Small Talk is the perfect excuse to support local while looking drip, drip, drippy. They are back doing weekly drops of cool shit, so get your thumb out of your bum and check out their page for when the next drop is. Hat, I don't know if you can see the hoodie. I think we got some stickers on here.
Shout out Dally.
Dallas is the man. His clothes are really cool. I agreed. Small Talk, I think Small Talk 3216 on Instagram. And if we post this up, we'll definitely hit you with some links. So just check it out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's a very, very cool hat.
Thank you.
Even if it was one of a million, it's super cool.
What the best part about this hat is I ordered it online, and generally speaking, my head size struggles with hats. No such problem here. Please don't make any comments about the way it fits my head online, because then I'll
Cry.
take it off.
You've got a bit of a history of wearing cool hats as well, don't you?
I don't know.
Like a green felt hat. Sometimes you wear like some ranger hats.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen some of them.
Thank
What's
you.
your Ichiban, bro? What's your number one?
I want to preface this by saying I want to be as respectful as possible with this situation. But my number one most attractive male of all time is Jesus.
I knew you were going to say that.
Just to be clear, I was raised Catholic, baptized, had my first Holy Communion. I'm not practicing, so I'm pretty rusty. Nope. Okay.
Come on, bro. There's
Um,
baptism, confirmation, first Holy Communion.
Okay. Sorry. That's how rusty I am. So this is meant to in no way disrespect Jesus or like Christianity, Catholicism. I've just got some like material here for you guys. So here's like a little excerpt of a way to describe him. Of all the children of our Father in heaven, Jesus is the most intelligent, most powerful, and most kind. Most handsome, grace is poured upon his lips. Now I know like they've done those like 3D rendering images of what he might have looked like, and it was like he kind of looked like a caveman a little bit. But I'm going off of like the Bible and the teachings and things like that to create this character. Attractive to both genders, because he had those apostles who he had like very, very close, tender relationships with. I mean, he's a leader. People followed him. Like people were attracted to him.
Yeah, people like dropped their lives to just follow him on foot from like town to next town.
Yeah, well, you think about it, like like Jesus to God was like this vehicle in order to like spread the word and teach people about God and like how to live and things like that. So he would have created like the most attractive vehicle for that purpose. If you've ever been in a church, and you've seen Jesus on the cross, he's in impeccable physical condition.
It's pretty cut.
Rippling abs. No disrespect. He's just jacked. I don't know what the hell kind of setup they had in terms of free weights back in Bethlehem, but just crushing it.
My man's on that all calisthenics.
Weight.
I think he was doing CrossFit, bro.
Yeah.
His relationship score is an 8 out of 10.
Religious cross.
Pretty real. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Just to ram it over the slow folks at home.
He had long hair and a beard, which is like a fantastic combo.
Oh.
I think like people go crazy for that stuff.
Well, it's in right now, yeah.
Yeah. Reason why Jesus is the most attractive male in human history is because he also has like the most possible exposure in human history. Like he is one of probably the most influential figure in history. Whether you want to say you believe in Jesus or God or not, the impact that it's had. And like, for example, if we asked every single person in the world, do you think Robert Pattinson is hot? There'll be a percentage number of those people that go, I don't know who Robert Pattinson is. Same with Batman, same with Edward Cullen. But I would imagine Jesus Christ would have the highest percentage of people that will know who he is and is able to answer that.
Will know who he is. But there is, I would say, approximately, I don't know, like 5.7 billion people who would aggressively be like, nah, they just can't. They simply cannot admit that because they don't believe in it because 2.whatever billion people believe in Christianity, which is a minority of the world.
Right.
And if we then half that again, because, well, actually, no, man or female, doesn't really matter, or whatever sectionality you are, you're still going to have like a vast majority of people who will aggressively disagree with that.
Right, but those people that are aggressively
They still, like, I agree, because you're saying, like, it's the greatest, this is kind of crude, but, like, the greatest logo of all time. Like,
yeah,
the most identifiable, right beside, like, what like the T? But anyway, like, the most identifiable logo probably in history.
And, like, I think the people that would, like, aggressively disagree would probably also, like, even the females would aggressively disagree with a lot of our picks anyway, or just, like, flat out disagree, like, not their cup of tea at all. So anyone I'm ostracizing doesn't affect, like, any of our picks anyway.
I think it's, like, just, it's not if you, like, think he exists or not. It's, like, just say he exists.
Yeah,
This is what he looks like.
yeah.
What do you think? Like, that type of thing.
And it's not and I'm not even really too caught up on what he looks like. That's
Yeah.
my whole point.
Well, yeah, like one of the things in the Bible is like he's kind of however you imagine him to look like. So he is kind of like
He's just like he's just been designed by God to be like the most attractive,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
human man.
Mm.
So that's what I went for. No
Nice.
disrespect.
Yeah.
I love
no
Jesus.
disrespect.
Never done anything bad to me. Jesus is a good guy in my books.
And you've never done anything bad to him. Oliver's a good guy in Jesus' book.
At one time I had a wank on Christmas Day.
Foul. Also, Jesus is always with you in the bedroom, right? That's what, like, religious people believe. That's why it's like, oh my God. Which
Well,
means...
religious people believe that God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit are all actually the same person. So
Oh, in that case, give me God.
yeah,
Give me God.
you already.
I'll take
picked,
the
bro.
Holy Spirit as well. All right, enough of that. I don't want to go.
You're dancing with the whatever the opposite of the devil is, right? You don't want to really tiptoe around that too much.
Last episode we had the devil.
Yeah,
Cam's
I'm just-
Manchester United. This week we brought it back and we gone God.
I'm just equaling out
Bro.
the scales.
Yeah, we don't care who it is as long as we win.
Cam, what's your numero uno, brother?
Yeah, what's your...
It's obvious, right? It's the Big Daddy. It's obvious. It's the one we've all been waiting for.
Oh, the cheat code on Age of Empires?
It's Franz Liszt, man. It's Franz Liszt. You know,
Is it actually?
Franz Liszt,
I don't know who that is, brother.
Hungarian composer in the 1800s, 1 meter 85. Franz Liszt made the Hungarian Piano Concerto number 9, I think.
No idea.
Okay,
Classic
well,
Cam number 1.
his weight's unknown because it was 1800s. I don't even think they had anything more than like an abacus to guess people's weight back then, which is why they're like, he was 5 stone heavy. But I would guess he was like 76.5 gigs. Franz was, as I say, a Hungarian composer and a pioneer during the Romantic era of classical music composition. Most images of him are when he was an old geezer, but I don't want to use those. I want to use the younger portraits, which depict a slender man, kind of imagine like almost Timothy Chalamet, with a pretty pronounced nose, strong jawline, a brown bob haircut with a minor widow's peak. He has dark brown eyes, piercing in their intensity but sad in their depth. The type of eyes that look like they've seen a loved one drown and could do nothing to save them. Now, to you, right now, Franz is just some guy. He's just some guy. The second one on the top left. We're just picking up an image for everyone else's reference.
Oh, yeah, I see the Timothy Shamalama Ding Dong reference.
Chalamet. Yeah,
We
Chalamet.
definitely gotta like try and show the folks at home now.
Yeah. So his spelling is Franz and then Liszt. Right
is
now,
it?
you're saying, Cam, you can't pick some obscure Hungarian composer and expect us not to push you back, and that's fine. Franz would perform his concerts and people would attend, and such was Franz's magnetism, his fans would faint at the sight of him. There are numerous instances of this occurring. This man was Beatles mania before Beatles mania was a thing. But, I know what you're thinking, Cam, they called it Beatles mania. There's no way that they also called a thing listomania, right? And it became a registered disease for a little while. That is exactly what happened. Heinrich Heine came up with the saying listomania, which was a medical term. It has its own Wikipedia page. There were calls to immunize the public. This is not like a cheap riff of vaccination currently. This literally was a thing. They encouraged people to stay indoors because this guy was so attractive. People were fainting at the sight of him. He's a real man. And the way that they described this disorder was it was a manic mental disorder because of, this is a direct quote, elevated levels of arousal. This man was so attractive, he was a communicable disease. Oh, sorry, my ratings out of 10. Fuck, I forgot about them. I also got ratings out of 10 for him. Symmetry, 8.33. Charisma, 10. Longevity, 7.38. Controversy, 5. Articles using pseudoscience to justify, 10. Style, 9.68. Proficiency in craft, 9.21. Swing factor, 9.43. There's a 0.67 chance I'm not sleeping with this man.
So that's a cap. Also,
Do you want me to tear this number one apart?
He's a Hungarian composer who people were fainting at the sight of him. He was so attractive.
Okay. When was this man around?
1800s. He died in like 1883.
So off the bat, probably didn't shower that much. Terrible teeth. I can just tell you, he already had terrible teeth. Probably had venereal diseases.
Such as himself.
And maybe people back in the day were just quite often racist. So, I mean, that's probably, I'm just going to chuck that one out there too. Let's not do that. But
Let's not do that with this guy's number one.
Bro, Jesus is the father of everyone. He doesn't.
Let's just keep on going.
that's like, it's so good.
Yeah, he stank. Bro, his teeth were fucked up. I promise you that. They were beat up to shit. But it didn't matter. Because the thing is that attractiveness is, in terms of like composition of what you look like,
No. So I say all that, but then
nothing.
if you put that person back in their day, it's like them. It's like someone just being normal now. So like if everyone's got fucked up teeth, then it's not a problem.
Yeah,
because everyone has
It's
fucked
all
up.
relative.
So it's all
Yeah,
just, it's relative.
They're fainting, bro.
Doesn't actually matter.
Doesn't matter. They're fainting like cows in the field. They're fainting.
Okay, so first of all, like, you just straight up, like, you wouldn't be that close to sleeping with him. There's no way he has like a higher. The thing is, like we just said about that, people are more attracted to him because of his stature and the time. But like, you don't give a fuck about classical music, or you don't care that much that you'd sleep with him. So the swing factor seems a little off.
You're right. I would faint because he's so attractive. And he's not Bill Cosbying me, so I'd be fine. You're right. I would faint before that could even be a thing.
Also, how did you give him a 9.68 or something on the style? How did you deduce that he's like the style icon?
At the thing, he had like pretty alright whatever fluffs and coifs, but also style.
Doesn't sound like a nine.
Style. Not once did I point out that style is fashion. Style can also just be an aesthetic composition, and so he was genuinely like very important to classical music, and so his style of classical music in the Romantic era was pioneering.
Pioneer, yeah. Would we say that his fainting would have had more exposure than like Elvis or the Beatles on like females? Because I would guess, just in terms of the way music can be circulated, like what you're describing for the reason why he's number one is this idea that people would faint. Like the Beatles and Elvis would have done that to like way more people. So shouldn't they be higher?
They would have, but they still would have done it to the same like sample size per. Like there's still the same relation would have occurred. You know what I mean? Like hysteria still would have been at the same level because he's performing a concert in front of X amount of people. And if that continues to happen consistently, all you do is you extrapolate that number out. So let's say he did a worldwide tour. Every single time, let's say 5% of people are fainting, it would stand to reason that 5% of people faint no matter what, whether it's Elvis, the Beatles, or him.
Right.
It's the law of big numbers. Anything more than 30, you can usually extrapolate.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You go by averages.
He had a medical condition by Heinrich Heise named after him. It's got its own Wikipedia page, man. Like, what the fucking fuck?
He's
Bro, I could start my own wiki page. That don't mean shit.
no, fair. He's just not that hot. That's the only thing. He's just not that attractive. Yeah, physically.
Right now. Yeah, apparently. But, you know, neither is Tom Jones, and that man's, he had people crazy weak at the knees.
That's a good point.
That's why I like intentionally avoided picking anyone who's like conventionally GQ unless I had some bullshit science, you know, like if you had the GQ Man of the Year, it's like what links Idris Elba and Brad Pitt? What actually links them? One of them is like both, sure, charming, charismatic,
you did Robert
characters.
Pattinson.
Yeah, but I had some bullshit science to back it up that he was the most symmetrical man in history.
Right.
I mean, by bullshit science, I mean obviously extremely validated and should be considered in the gradings.
Yeah. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, yeah, there's like a lot to be attracted there. And, you know, like it's funny to imagine him being this rock star with classical music because that's what it would have been like back then. Like that would be their, you know.
Do you know what's funny? Like media or news wouldn't really travel back then at all very well. And so probably these women were turning up and they're like, what the fuck is, and just knocked out. Like they don't know about it. It's not like a phenomenon. They're like just turning up and like out of nowhere, out like a light.
How many people do you think, male or female, would have fainted if you saw like water being turned into wine? Or like just like fish and
You talking about magic? You talking about magic miracles that don't exist?
talking about miracles that exist within the context of my character.
Yeah, okay, so how about a guy turning into a ghost?
Yeah, but he's trying to keep it secret, bro. Jesus is a showman.
Not from the person that he's having a relationship with.
If you don't have those numbers available, all I'm saying is you don't have Christomania.
Oh.
Water into wine. You don't have any numbers to back up.
Well, I mean, I guess he did have Christomania, bro. People are
still talking about him.
Pretty hyped about him like 2,000 years later.
All right. Well, Liam Dunn, let's hope that you've got a good number one then.
Bro, my number one's fucking solid. Zuko from Avatar The Last Airbender. Okay, let me set the scene.
I thought about this one. Did you?
He was number 3 on Ask Gay Bros. No joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love him.
Crown ruler of the Fire Nation. So automatically, if you like get him with this guy, if you marry him, you become queen. You become royalty, and so do your children for as long as whatever. You know what I mean? Financial and status comes with that. He's also a trained martial artist. And he's proficient with like the twin broadswords, so you know he's got that shit on lock.
Can we need to do like a super cut of Liam just talking about like the physical prowess of each one of his men.
He's got a super emotional backstory. Like, just went on the longest journey to find himself, reclaim his honor, just to realize that he didn't need his father's validation. Bro, it's a fucking tearjerker. Him apologizing to his uncle just gets me fucking in my feelings every time. So if that doesn't move you, you're a piece of shit.
If that doesn't move you, you're a piece of shit.
He has a dragon. He's got like a pet dragon.
That's like the Lambo of the airbender realm, right?
He's got a dangerous looking scar.
Yeah, that's actually attractive to me.
Okay.
He looks dope.
Burns.
He's a bad boy. And yeah,
he is.
In my opinion, he's a handsome guy.
Yeah, he's a bad boy. He's a bad boy, which attracts a certain sect of like the female population. But with his hair down, he's actually got quite soft features. So he also can, like, you know, if you're more into the boyish look, he kind of ticks that box as well. Not that.
He's played by Bangarang from Pan or Hook. Remember that?
From
You remember that movie with
Skrillex?
Robin Williams playing Peter Pan? You know that one?
Yeah.
Hook. Yeah, Bangarang, the kid. He's the one who plays Zuko. And next time you watch it, you're like, oh shit, that is Zuko. Zuko has a lot of emotional maturity, which is very attractive.
Yeah.
He's gone through a lot.
He's got a super emotional journey, but it's also like super interesting. He's like essentially like the son of like Hitler, pretty much, and then he like goes on a journey and goes and helps the Jews, pretty much like what he does.
Yeah. I do think it would be hard to get rid of the name of being the son of Hitler for like any potential mate. Feel like I'm the son of Hitler. I am a good guy. They'd be like,
If you,
Well, I mean, if you
big
helped,
speed bump.
yeah,
the
yeah,
Yeah, no, fully
Allies
agree.
defeat
Fully
Hitler,
agree.
then yeah,
Fully
yeah.
agree. But it would still be a speed bump. It would be a conversation. You'd be like, we're not going over to dinner.
yeah, you pull the dragon over. Do you want me to turn this dragon around?
But there you go. That's my number one.
So attracting people, like having attributes and traits that attract people towards you, right? Does Aang not have like a way higher approval rating within his world because he's just the avatar and everyone goes fucking nutty over the avatar? It's like the biggest celebrity. Like if you asked, like if you're just polling people on the side of the street in like Ba Sing Se, and you're like, who do you find more attractive, Prince Zuko or
Boomy.
Avatar Aang? Is it maybe Aang? Or
Aang doesn't have time for you, really.
Right,
Like,
okay.
if you've seen Legend of Korra, he doesn't have time. He never had time for his kids. He, you know,
Yeah.
he's too worried about like solving the world's problems.
He does have a lot of responsibility that would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aang's like the guy that
Zuko's got time to just chill, bro.
Yeah. Aang's the guy that your wife can put on the list
Netflix.
of, you know, like, I will cheat on you with him, but Zuko's the guy who she's going to settle down with. You know, he's the guy who works at the automotive
I would do it the
department.
other way around.
No, like
Bro,
in terms of
Zuko-
baddiness, sure, but like in
Yeah,
terms
yeah.
of
Bro,
prestige.
Zuko could have heard that Avatar's girl, bro, when he was in the Diamond Catacombs.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Bro, he was like this close to sealing the deal, and then he's like, actually, I'm still bad.
Yeah, I remember that one actually.
Doesn't he become like the king of the Fire Kingdom?
Talking about the Fire Nation, bro? Does he become the Fire Lord of the Fire Nation?
So why are you acting like he can just chill, bro? He's got a bit of a nation to
He's
run,
got
bro.
responsibilities. He's not Prince
He's-
Williaming it.
He can chill, bro.
He can chill. He
Yeah, I
says he
suppose
can-
he'd have like a
Actually,
lot
he
of...
literally cannot chill. He's fire. He like literally cannot chill. If it was water, maybe.
Look, if I had to really think about it, I think there's probably people in place to run his like
Yeah,
empire for him. So he's
Yeah.
just more of a figurehead.
Yeah, it's just his 9 to 5, and then, like if he had to, he could clock
He's got
out. Whereas
Iroh in there. And, yeah.
Avatar's like, oh man, like there's this like mythical beast that I have to take down. No one else can take it.
I love how our pushback on Zuko is, do you think he'd have time for you like, in a relationship? Do you think he'd be able to bring home work? Because that's the other thing. He's got a lot of emotional maturity. He's got a lot of emotional baggage. That guy cries himself to sleep, promise you.
Yeah, that's probably
That's a
true.
lot. That's a lot to deal
There's
with.
a lot of stuff that happened.
There's like baggage, you know.
But he faced his demons.
Also, though, like any shot, he'd be like, I'll fix him. He's like, also, I got a dragon.
It's worth pointing out, like, it depends where you pick your Prince Zuko, right? Because, like, if it's season 1, dude's a piece of shit, and he's ugly, but ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite petulant. How old is Zuko? He's like,
He's
what?
like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
How long does Avatar run for? Is it a number of years?
It's like 1 year.
Yeah.
Oh, really? The 3 seasons or whatever?
Yeah.
It's so stupid that Legend of Korra has more seasons than the original Avatar.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
It's super lame. Well, this is the part of the show where we go to producer Steen for a little bit of a pick a winner situation. He's just adjusting stuff. You probably can't even see me on the YouTube right now because hopefully you just get Liam adjusting his hair. But producer Steen does a huge amount of work for this show, and we have a lot of cameras set up, and he is the only producer on. And we end up talking for quite a long time and using up a lot of battery. So the poor guy is always frantically running around. But
I'll be honest, just quickly, I was going to put Steen as number 1 just to seal the dub. Like, I was going to do it, and then I thought the amount of just, like, raw pushback I would get from the pair of you.
well, hang on. I love that you say that. Can we hear like some of the reasonings?
Most of it was around like loyalty, open-mindedness, and also like I think one of the things is like this kind of this
here we
weird
go.
disconnect that you
No.
have when you're interacting with like availability versus unavailability. You know when like you've got that back and forth with someone you're talking to and like, we can do
I
we
regret
can
I
do
asked.
Wednesday from 5 p.m. but we cannot do any other hour. I'm like, God damn it, Steen, I want you even more right now. Swing factor was higher than you should like ever.
What was the rating on the swing factor?
Let's just say, man. Let's just say I'm not fainting, Steen.
No, I'll take the money right now.
Yeah.
Let me just change my notes real fast.
That was so funny. I love
Alright.
you so much.
All right. Well, this was a challenging one because I've got fictional characters, and I've got one dude that I can't find much on except for one very obscure image. All right, and I'm going to start off with one thing. Are we going Jesus from the Holy Bible or like any Bible? Is there a restriction on that, like the Hebrew Bible?
Like the St. James,
Yeah.
King James.
I guess the Holy Bible, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Because I read in the Hebrew Bible that he was not a very attractive man
Oof.
for reasons that I didn't read further, but it was just stated there. So
So I'll just say, like I said, with the 3D rendering and things like that, I've picked the one that was described as the most attractive man.
okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's good.
Is that the one in Rick and Morty? He's like
Yeah.
strangely attractive. Like, why is he so cut?
Yeah.
Sorry, Snake. Continue.
So I'm gonna give
Love you.
third place, and this isn't just because you said anything. I'm gonna give it to you, Cam.
Third place.
Third place.
Sweet, man.
There's
Thanks,
not
bro.
much I could find on.
You didn't need to. I told you literally all of it. You know that part I said about how he faints and stuff?
Absolutely.
I told you that.
No, I looked into it.
Did you read the whole Bible while you were there? Did you watch 3 seasons of Airbender? Oh, okay. Sweet.
It's called
No comment.
Avatar, The Legend of the Airbenders.
It's called the legend. I was like, this motherfucker. Sweet, bro. Yeah, nah, bronze. Love it.
All right, look, I love you too, Cam. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, first place, I'm going to give that to Jesus.
Sick.
And, of course, second place, Mr. Cool.
Sweet. I can't wait for next week's episode. 3 meanest producers of all time.
I can't wait for us to just get cancelled.
3
No, it's probably
saddest boys of all
I
time.
probably only won with Jesus because, like, if we had have not put Jesus, then they would have come for us.
We're fucked because he said 2 fictional characters and a guy I can't find anything about. Well, guess what? There's heaps in the Bible. So guess who's talking about for the fictional characters?
Just for the viewers out there, if there's any missing content, just, skip to this part and you just will have to wonder what was said, I might have to bleep some stuff out, especially China's edition.
Yeah, especially if we want to go to TikTok, would be a bit fucked there. Oh, okay. Very cool.
Awesome. It's been good to be back.
Good to be back, boys.
Right
Yeah.
out. Sorry we missed a week last week. That's kind of unavoidable. We didn't
I'm
have
not.
access.
Don't hold us to anything.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, not here to entertain you. But we are.
Yeah, Cam took all our equipment away. Didn't want to
Yeah.
get back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we've got any big plans for next week's episode. So, actually, if you get in touch, we might pick your topic. We're always open to ideas. We love to hear from you. Anyway, it's been a really lovely return. A super impactful 10th episode. I think we all learn a lot.
Yeah. We
Thanks,
sure did.
thanks for coming, guys.
See you guys later.
Peace
Loved
and
ones.
love.
See ya. Bye.